Hello and good morning. I hope that you are doing well this morning. It sounds like I'm doing the AI Command Center private podcast, right? Good morning. I hope that you're doing well today, enjoying your favorite cup of coffee, your favorite cup of tea, or depending on when you're listening to this private podcast. I know that you say that with me. I know that you do. I hear that. All right. So what I'm going to do is I am looking here and seeing that I am in fact live. I am. Looks like everything is working. So a couple announcements and I will drop them in the chat. Y'all, I'm a little nervous, little nervous. So clean sweep is happening tomorrow. And a couple of things that are coming up. I just want to give you a little bit of behind the scenes. All right. So number one, typically when I host a workshop, I will put it out to the list and I already have the title of the workshop, like all of the things, and people register, right? And by the time I open the room, a little bit over 200 people have registered for the workshop. If it's a brand new workshop, because I do just like the basic Zoom now, it's 100 seats and 100 seats are filled. And the first time that it happened, I was like nervous and I was like letting people in, letting people in, letting people in. And that in and of itself is kind of distracting from, everybody that's here and now let me kind of get in, with also kind of the excitement, nervousness of like, oh my gosh, there are 100 people here. Don't think about it, like get into the slides, right? So that's typically what happens. So yesterday we were having a team meeting and I went, Heather, we're over 300 right now. And we could potentially get to 400. I'm assuming that just based on like previous things and how that's gone. And so what that's telling me is a couple of things have worked. And I want to share this because it's all about simplification and kind of giving you behind the scenes. Why do I think that this has worked? Well, number one is I didn't come up with the title. I didn't vote on the workshop. I literally posted 3 different titles for the workshop, both in the Overwhelmed to Organized community and through email. And it was a brand new feature. I use Kit for my email, brand new feature. And so I was like, refresh. And so first things first, like you selected the topic. It's clean sweep. And it's all about getting clarity. And it's very simple. It's 3 things: your brain, your business, and your back end, right? And how we get clarity on those 3 things using AI. So here's the other thing that I'm going to tell you kind of behind the scenes. And I did, so in tomorrow's workshop, there is a slide that kind of shows what my AI journey has been like. And I feel like when we are in like a new wave of technology, I know AI is not new, but we feel like there is imposter syndrome. Like, I don't know as much as like XYZ knows, so I shouldn't have any say in how to use AI, right? Well, I think like years ago, I used Jasper. And Jasper was horrible. I mean, thinking kind of back, it was very clunky. And I'm like, why are people loving this? And then ChatGPT came to town and it was transformational. It was a conversation with AI, right? And then we went through prompts. And y'all, I left prompts a while back, and started using GPTs. And GPTs, just kind of the difference between the two, a prompt obviously is copy, text, right? To have something like a very specific outcome, right? So it's kind of garbage in, garbage out, or it's like context, really good stuff in, better stuff out. And so what I've struggled with for this workshop is I've got the prompts, so I got you. But I'm telling you right now, if like we're looking at the chart and how AI has advanced, it's like GPTs, like it has everything. So, and I understand GPTs in terms of training GPTs, garbage in, garbage out. I train my GPTs on like 20 years of experience, right? And so it's just this interesting conversation, interesting evolution of using prompts, using GPTs. Like, I can't go back now. And the other part of it in using the GPT, so I know we've got some people here that have got the AI Command Center, and I'm going to talk about Simplify and different things that you can use inside of Systems by Design or inside of AI Command Center, right, to simplify what we're going to talk about today. What I can't go back to is typing everything out. It's not that I'm lazy when I hit the dictate button to start talking. What happens is when you push that dictate button and start talking inside of ChatGPT, all right, is that the information, so you've got the GPT and it's trained, but you hit that mic and you give it more context through the roof, like in terms of your output, which then helps you less time editing. If it's an email, if it's a social post, if it's a sales page, like whatever that thing is, right? And so the other part of it is that when you're speaking, time, it looks like a whole bunch of gobbledygook, but AI, the opportunity is that it can take massive amounts, so much more than just like the gobbledygook and the conversations that we're having. It can take massive amounts of information and distill it down and organize it. And so that's where I get giddy, is because when it organizes it, we're seeing it. So the conversation is notice how I'm using like all of the things. The conversations are the things that we're carrying around in our head. That's why you're heavy. That's why you're heavy. It's everything in the kitchen sink here. I've been living this to the extreme with all of the micro decisions with the house. I was walking through and testing the prompts this morning, and what I didn't realize was carrying around all the things with the kids. You know, what's going on, and nothing bad's going on, but just like big things that are happening with each one of them. And I didn't realize how much I was carrying around, and I saw it. And when I saw it, it kind of stops you in your tracks. And it's really easy then to pick up, here are things for business. Here are revenue tasks that I need to complete. And this is what I'm telling the GPT that I want to do. The GPT then can do the plan for me. It can output it for me, whether it's Trello, Asana, ClickUp, Notion, Google, does not matter. And I'm done. I close the laptop because, y'all, there's a lot of stuff to get done in that house before these kids come home for Thanksgiving. One of them's going to be home next week. So we got to roll up our sleeves. All to say, I'm opening the doors early tomorrow. I've got a surprise for the waiting room. I've never done that before. Really excited about the workshop. It's super simple and clean. And when you see it, like, simple and clean means clarity, and clarity around the holidays. I was just on a coaching call and we were like, okay, it's like Halloween and now it's November 12th. How did we get here? Right. And it's holiday hangover in overdrive right now. Right. But the thing that I think is interesting when we're talking about AI is that, you know, you had things like Jasper, and then you had things like ChatGPT that changed everything. And now we have all of these different AI tools. With Chat, you had prompts. Now you have GPTs. And I was like, so what's next? Like, what's going to take the place of a custom trained GPT? And I know we're talking like agents. Agents are different, but what will take the place of GPTs? Like, that's the thing that I'm waiting on, and like the fun. So long story short, I will put, I think I have it here. Hold on. Yeah, let me just grab it. Let me see if I can grab it. Yeah, I can grab it. If you've not already registered, I am going to put in the chat for tomorrow's workshop. I will be sending out, so if you've registered, I'm sending out details a little bit later on this afternoon. And of course, you'll get all of the things tomorrow morning. If you can't make it live, because I do have customers and members who are in Australia. I mean, we have them all over the world. I mean, how amazing is that? How small of a world it is. One of them was like, it's going to be 3 a.m. here. So are you doing a replay? I do send out limited time replay. The limited time replay will be till next week on the 19th. Like, we're going to tie this thing up with a bow. Lots of gifts coming your way tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, a replay is coming. So I am going to share my screen. So we're talking all things pass the pie. Simplify live, pass the pie, not the pressure. That's what we're talking about today, and specifically around social media. And so sticky content, we're going to talk about that. Batching and boundaries. So I've got some feelings around batching, definitely around boundaries, and then what the social plan is. So very simple. That's what we're doing. Simplify your social. Okay. And I'm going to give you one thing that literally, like, it's a rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Everything that we do needs to be a repeatable process. And your social really needs to be let me not even think about the process of doing this. That will help you stay consistent. 46%, I polled my audience, and 46% of you said, I stopped posting on social media when life gets crazy. Well, hello. Happy Thanksgiving. Really quick, because I know we've got some newcomers. I am Rhonda, built and sold the business as seasonal children's consignment sale. I'm a retired homeschooling soccer mom, so we homeschooled for 15 years, all 4 kids. 2 have graduated from college and 2 are still in college. Military spouse, hello, shut down. Let me go to work. Let me go to drill and not get paid. Hopefully that is going to resolve all this afternoon or this evening. And loving all things outside, with the exception of right now I'm living in the South. And for whatever reason, for the past 2 days has been a cold snap. And from that cold snap, we're going to be 70 today. So it was like in the upper 20s. I feel like a meteorologist, upper 20s. And now it's going to be 70 today. So I'm not really sure I'm liking any of these things right now, with the exception of the Peloton. But right now I'm not doing the Peloton. All work is in tomorrow's workshop and the house. And certainly Sibby. I am a golden doodle lover. So the only way to do all of these things is really building and implementing just very simple systems, from the chore chart that I did with my kids. I mean, literally 4 jobs for 15 years. It's one of the simplest systems I ever created and implemented consistently. And there's so many takeaways. Like, we could do just a workshop on chore chart. But it really was the only way that I was able to do things that I wanted to do in my life and be able to build a business simultaneously without burning out. I love helping busy business owners who are drowning in tasks and starving for time. So if that's you, you are 100% in the right place. So let's talk about sticky content. This is, it's not new. It's not a new take. It's not a new angle, but this is the simplest way to connect. Why do I call it sticky? It's connecting with your customer. Does not matter if you have never had a sale. It doesn't matter if you're loaded down with sales. Like, this is going to work hands down over and over again. It is a repeatable process, and it's really 3 steps. So part of it is the problem that your customer is facing, right? Many times folks come in, I'm overwhelmed. I need more time. I need to get things organized so I can give them to my team. I have more work than I have team. I don't know where to start. I'm working a 9 to 5. So those are all problems. And I record every single problem. That spreadsheet is the gold and probably the core for my business. We'll talk about where you can access that in both Systems by Design or the spreadsheet itself is inside the AI Command Center. So we'll talk about that. And then the solution. The solution is what you sell to solve your dream customer's problem. It's not about posting just random posts. It's nothing random about it. It's very calculated. And it is that your customer has a problem and you can solve that problem. And you connect the two. What makes it sticky is story. So whenever we're focused on one particular thing, i.e., I've been talking a lot about clean sweep. So with clean sweep, each day with my emails, I'm sharing a story around the pods that we've had in our yard for a year and now they're gone. I've shared, I can't think of another story right off the top of my head, but lots of different stories that connect with the need of this is overwhelm. This is how it's showing up. And this is how I solve it. I'm solving the overwhelm in that story with clean sweep. And in clean sweep, you walk away with 3 prompts. One for your brain, one for your business, and one for your back end. That was another thing that I really think tied everything up with a bow, is connecting everything with the story. And it's simple and it's consistent. So you find when we're looking at systems by design, it's content that converts. So this is under marketing. It's under growth. All right. And so when we're thinking about social, if you have the simple social planning template, which I'll show you here in just a second, that is where we plan, we organize, and we track our social strategy. How then do we know what to post? Well, inside of Systems by Design, content that converts helps you to brainstorm, I think it's 10 problems that your customer has. But what's really important here is that we don't just say they're overwhelmed. I want to know I'm overwhelmed, but in a very specific language. And it's how you're talking about it, right? And then when you have those problems, then you list how your offer or your product solves that problem. And I said at the very beginning, it doesn't matter if you are new and have never made sales, or if you're experienced and you have made sales. You can still use this repeatable process. Why? Well, one is definitely if you're experienced and you have sales, you should be collecting friction points that your customer is sharing with you and how they're speaking about it. Well, if you're new and you don't have any customers, where do you get the customer language? It's loaded on social media, in small groups, in big Facebook groups. It's in Instagram. It's over on TikTok. It's everywhere. It's in YouTube. How your customer is talking about the problem that they have. Actually, yeah, no, I won't be able to get that here. Yeah. I don't know if, let me see here. Hold on just a sec. I want to stop here because like this is such a biggie. Let me go back. I don't think, do you see this? Maybe you see this. No. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to read just a couple of them so you know exactly what I'm talking about. Organization to pinpoint where to start and where to focus my energy daily. Like that's what a customer shared with me. Keeping both my husband and my online business organized digitally. That's what a customer shared with me. I have way too many business adventures, not enough of me. I'm so bad with technology, need tools to get organized. Too much to do, not enough help. Not having all of the information in one place. Following the plans that I've made. Getting organized and creating systems to help me maximize my work time. All of these are friction points that my customer is feeling right now. And I match my product and or service. I don't really have service. I match my products to solve those friction points. So I'm never looking at a cursor that's blinking at me, ever. I can take any one of those pain points, and what I do, I'm feeding it into a GPT. And I am writing the post and I do 5 days a week. That's it. I batch 5 days and I'm done. So if you're in systems by design, you want content that converts. It is marketing. It is under the sorry, I just got a text here. Growth, growth and marketing. In the AI Command Center, certainly you can write emails around the topic. You can write social posts around the topic. And I even give you podcast and YouTube. So those are the two additional social posts. These can be I predominantly post on Facebook, but I also have a podcast that I flip into YouTube videos. All right. And the difference is that I have done this work. So I started here. This is a system that is easy to use over and again. And if you want to save time, then you put that information in the GPT that is trained and it spits it out. You may need to edit, you post, and you're done. That's how you save time. All right. So the sticky content is really 3 sections. Your customer has a problem, you have the solution, and you connect it with a story. All right. And inside of Systems by Design, content that converts, this is under the marketing card under growth, right there on the dashboard. And the AI Command Center, you want to look in the marketing GPT collections and specifically social. I am building out more GPTs. I think I've added 4 or 5 email GPTs, and I've got 3 social GPTs that I am in the process of creating. So this library is getting larger. Okay. So now let's talk about batching and boundaries. A lot of times you hear, I guess, people flexing, and they'll be like, I've just batched 90 days worth of content. I don't really like 90 days worth of content. I mean, certainly for you as the creator, that makes things super simple. But for example, as far as my weekly routine goes, I have conversations with my customers every single week. And if something shifts in my messaging because I'm having conversations with my customer, or I see different friction points, if I've already posted for 90 days, I mean, I guess I could go back and redo it. I do it every 5 days. It's part of my weekly task that I do. And the whole idea around batching, that in and of itself, if you've never done it before, can feel very overwhelming. There's several steps to it. It's creating content for one day times how many ever days in the future you want to go. Right now, inside of my small group coaching program that I have, Help Me Rhonda Live, we're talking about batching just for 2 weeks. And here's what I mean by that. Number one, I had them to decide what they were going to take off for Thanksgiving week, and then look at the activities that they normally do for that week, and then batch those activities now, meaning part of that is social, right? And I said 2 weeks. Why did I say 2 weeks? Because you batch for the week of the holiday, but you also batch for the week that you come back. And I like to have at least 1 to 2 days under my belt so that the Monday after Thanksgiving is not chaos when it comes to my business. Same thing is true for Christmas. So what are you taking off for Christmas? And then there's that weird week in between Christmas and New Year's, and it's batching a little bit past January 1st because then that holiday hangover is all in effect, right? And one way that we can really track it is inside of Systems by Design, you've got your dream week. And it's a visual way of mapping out your work week. So when we're talking about batching, knowing how you work, the end of the day would never be a good time for me to batch social media. My eyes are a little bit squintier. I'm tired. Daniel may be coming home early. The contractors may need me. Like something is going to happen at the end of the day. So knowing when you work, i.e. mapping out your dream week, really leans into your strength as a creator. Again, batching 1 week at a time doesn't feel so overwhelming. And if you can batch 1 week, then maybe on a holiday, right? Then we batch a week and a half or 2 weeks. Knowing your customer. So going back and doing this work around content that converts allows you then to know your customer in their voice. That is critical and key. You can't talk about how you solve the problem in your language, if that makes sense. What I mean by that is like you're 10, 15, 20, who knows how many steps ahead that you were in. So I really like to launch with the problem the way that my customer is describing that problem. All right. And when I talk about use what you have, that phone that's in your hand that has thousands of photos and videos, use what you have. There are pictures of me. There are pictures of me and the family. I do a lot of selfie pictures because part of my morning routine every single morning, this is one of my favorite things. Every single morning is I send a good morning text to the kids, and they're in all different threads. So Ander and Daniel and I are in a thread. Jack and I and Daniel are in a thread. And then we call the beach babies because Maggie and Thomas are at the beach. There are 4 of us in that thread. But we always say good morning. We have that connection. And so, yes, they're funny pictures. I take those pictures, and some of them I've used on social media. Why? I am not a polished brand. If you are looking for makeup and lipstick, that's not me. That's not what you're going to get with me. Use what you have and make the connection because, again, problem, solution, and connect with story. If you're connecting with story and using what you have, so much simpler. And then this batching for a week because I know my customer, I know that I need to do this in the morning. So if I just add 1 extra post a morning for a week, guess what? I've batched for a week. It's done. I haven't blocked off hours. Then I don't know what to say. I'm not in a creative mood and I'm trying to find pictures. Lean into what you have at your fingertips. Use it to your advantage. All right. So when we're talking about batching and boundaries inside of Systems by Design, I have 3 resources. So we've already talked about content that converts, right? It's a printable playbook. The Dream Week. Love the Dream Week. It's such a great visual. Love printing this off and seeing it. It's great in the binder. But this is another one that I really want to point out, and I kind of alluded to it a little bit, daily routine. So when we're talking about batching and boundaries, one of the things is talked about that. What did we talk about? I think it was last week. Again, in small group coaching, Help Me Rhonda Live. If you want more information, let me know about that. You can comment in the threads. But boundaries it's the routine. It's the daily routine. It's the schedule. So I have scheduled my week and I know when I work. I have the things that I complete, the deadlines, the calls that I show up for, right? And then I plug in that daily routine. So I have what? My morning routine, and I have my daily 3, and I have my nightly 3. How do I determine that? Well, I determine it by using my priority picks over here in the AI Command Center, but you can also use Priority Framework over here inside of Systems by Design. And the Priority Framework helps me to identify my revenue generating activities, how my business makes money, where I need to focus my limited time. And that helps me to create content that converts. It's such a beautiful little system, right? So if you're just getting started with Systems by Design, I recommend that you're going to start with these 2 inside of the Template Accelerator and setting up the Business Command Center. So you'll start here, right? But for this specific workshop to simplify, I'm pulling in, obviously, your social planning, right? And for the AI command center, again, it's like taking the friction, sharing the story. You share the story by tapping. Again, I'm going to say tap the mic, and start talking. The information that you share with AI, number one, it's so much faster. Number two, it's so much richer, and it's in your voice, and there's less editing. All right. So then finally, when we're looking at the social plan, so we got batching and boundaries. So you have to have a planning tool. And part of that planning tool, many of you already have the simple social planning template. So I kind of wanted to go over that here really quickly as well. All right. So your planning tool, which will help you, consistency is key, because if you start running ads, or maybe you do a workshop in a group, maybe you're highlighted on a podcast, people are going to come and they're going to stalk you on your social media. If you haven't posted there in 6 months, wah, 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 we've lost, right? So consistency is key. And here's something that I really want to focus in on, and then I'll kind of end here with this planning tool, is marketing is plugged into your calendar. So remember when we were talking about our dream week, and we've got our daily routines. As part of our dream week, you plug into the calendar what you normally do during the week. So for example, Tuesday, 9 a.m. is team meeting. 12 o'clock is Trello Tuesday. Then I have a gap, and then I have I am working with the coach, so I have a mentor call at 2. All right. And that's my day. Wednesdays, I have a coaching client, so that starts at 11. Then I do a workshop in the afternoon. And then I have the Help Me Rhonda Live is at 1 o'clock. And then I end the day at 3 o'clock. I have an ads coaching call. So I pay an ads coach. I run my ads, but those are plugged in. So when I'm talking about plugging in and scheduling marketing plugged into the calendar, there is a deadline where my marketing for the week is complete. And what does that comprise of? It comprises of that I have done my video for my members. That video and my emails are scheduled inside of Kit. I have that video, it's scheduled inside of YouTube. And if I have other emails for the week outside of membership, those are scheduled. And what else? If I'm running, I take my podcast and flip it into a YouTube video. So I record the video. That's done as well. So marketing, I schedule an appointment with myself so that marketing is complete. Like, what would happen? I don't think I've ever missed an email on a Monday morning for my members in like 6 years. It's because it's a repeatable routine. Repeatable routines are things that become automatic, and it's how you can do the work here, but use AI to complete the task faster, right? So let's talk about the planning tool. And the planning tool helps you stay consistent, right? So this is simple social planning. And the way that we've laid it out here is there are a couple of other lists here, but branding, I like to have that. And I've added this to the template. All of your branding is right here at your fingertips. Those hex codes, I hate those hex codes. If you don't know what a hex code is, that is the number assigned to the colors that you use to brand. Each color has a very specific hex code number, right? So all that branding information is here. Any type of SOP and tools that I use for social media, those would be listed right here, right? And then we get into the nitty gritty of actually planning, organizing and tracking, and the way too that you can use simple social for accountability. All right. So you see 1 January, 2 January, 3 January, 4, etc. So there are 31 in January, so there are 31 cards. You select the platform. So you see that here. It's going to be in the Facebook group. The type is a post, and then status is scheduled. Literally at a glance, if you're a solopreneur, this is fantastic. So I can look and see, yeah, I've posted consistently or I've not posted consistently. That is where the accountability is. Inside of Systems by Design, I recommend that you do evaluation every single month. It is your custom planning tool, not looking like, what is the thing that's going to help me? You have all of the answers that are going to help you. You can customize your whole business experience based on that evaluation. It's very simple. I created it as if I was going to plug into a brick and mortar store and I had a manager. It's that sale that I did, we literally, so the way that evaluation would go